Work.
Big classics, baby-sized. Only at Burger King for a limited time.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Friday, the 14th day of August 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be careful. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, because the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable, and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout out is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we want to wish you a speedy recovery as well. So I just want to revert back to those who have lost loved ones, and we certainly want to extend our sincere condolences to one of our faithful listeners and caller in to Radio Cayman, Mr. George Shillette, who unfortunately lost his son yesterday, and his name is, of course, Charles Shillette, and he leaves behind his mother, Letitia, his father, George Shillette, brother Dean, sister Ingrid, daughters Siobhan, Chelsea, Chrissy, his partner Charmaine, brother Joseph in Liverpool as well. So again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to Mr. George Shillette and his family. We all go through this, but we can never, really say, well, I know how you feel, because it is, one of those instances when, words really cannot express the feeling. So we just want to say to Mr. George and his family, our prayers our condolences go out to you. We'll certainly keep you, in our prayers, and just remember that the good Lord does not give you any more than He believes that you can handle as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I have the distinct honor and pleasure of being your host. My name is Orrett, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, phone lines are open. You can call us if you're using a phone number, toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us at 949-8037, 949-6990, WhatsApp number 925-3261. So first of all, let's look at the birthday shout-outs, and a big shout-out to another faithful listener to Radio Cayman, Miss Adina Range, and a huge fan of Miss Susan Watson as well. So Miss Adina, she's celebrating her birthday today, her 80th birthday. So we want to wish her a happy birthday as well. And on last Saturday at the opening at Scranton Park, saw Miss Adonia Barnes, Miss Topsy, and she's looking young and cheerful as well, and she is same age as Miss Adina as well. She told me, I said, Miss Topsy, you know, looking any older at all, you're looking younger and younger every day. She said, yeah, and 80 years old now. I'm 80 years. So Miss Adina, you enjoy your birthday today. Let's look at other birthdays coming in. Let's look and see what we got from Miss Aldine. So again, she mentions also today's very special 80th birthday to Miss Adina Range. Then we're looking at Saturday's birthdays. Acting Premier, Honorable Nicholas DaCosta. Jeannie McKnight also celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Sunday's birthdays, Monique Jeffries, Elistine Ward also celebrating a birthday on Sunday. Jonathan Piguero, Mia Corbett Robinson, and Grayson McLean all celebrating birthdays on Sunday. And got to look at now what came from our this again mentions Minister Nicholas DaCosta. Tomorrow, Al Ebanks also celebrating his birthday tomorrow. A happy birthday to you, Al Ebanks, when it comes. Roger Hines celebrating a birthday tomorrow, and Aldine Anderson also celebrating a birthday on Sunday. And then I have a few requests. This person is asking, say, blessings to you always, Mr. O.C. Could you please send very special birthday greetings to my beloved son, Carlington? His birthday will be on Sunday the 16th. Greetings coming from your loving mother, Myrtle. So happy birthday in advance to Mr. Carlington, who will be celebrating his birthday on Sunday. And the birthday greetings are coming from your mom. I have another one here as well, just going through all of them. Good morning. Birthday greetings to Mrs. Adina from Sasha, Vernice, and Hubert from Palmdale. So, Miss Adina, birthday greetings coming from Sasha, Vernice, and Hubert over there in Palmdale as well. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, please share that information with us right here on For the Record, and we will give them a shout out. Proudly brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes from generation to generation. Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic. Let's go to our phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
See, Connor.
Hey, morning. How art thou?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. You can hear how cheerful I am this morning, even though, it was really sad to hear about Mr. Chilette's son, and then to have to relay that this morning. It was not an easy task.
I did spoke to him yesterday, and I too would like to try out my deepest condolences to him, my ex co-worker and good friend.
Mm-hmm.
That was really sad. But I did spoke with him in person yesterday, and we had the chat. So, yeah, and I would like also to say a happy birthday to Miss Adina and to my really, really good friend Al Ebanks for his birthday coming up tomorrow. So yeah, know that I get over that. Your panel that was on there, I think it was on Wednesday, that got me a little hot on the collar. I don't hear them, OC, being concerned, or I not hear them displaying any concern about all these, or they display their concern about the little fees that our government is trying to implement, right? But I don't hear them being concerned about all the millions of dollars that we have given to wealthy developers. I don't hear them being concerned about reducing the rollover policy that will curtail the large influx that we can soon expect of what they call new Caymanians that will outnumber us. I don't hear them being concerned about their property. I understand that been bulldozed down or knocked down on the Western Peninsula for developers to be able to develop where I think the area might have been a sensitive, what they call a sensitive area. But we, NRA, can't continue with the road to the eastern people so that they don't have to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning to get to town. And I hear them being concerned about that. I don't hear them being concerned about the high cost of NAU basically caused by people who we have given PR or status to. I thought OC, that should be one of the that should be one of the requirements, that you should be able to maintain, to take care of yourself here. And I would only give it to people that can sustain themselves. If you cannot that means we're only importing power air. Okay? If you cannot show me that your pension going to be able to take care of you, CUC bill and the likes, then, well, you need more than that. Then we need to look at that again, OC. And I hear them being concerned about the cost, the community cost to entertain people here on work permits and the likes, beaches, lights, activities. They can just play as they like. And I hear them being concerned about the fact that we can't live the normal beach life, like going to the beach and don't have to rush there to get one of the beautiful huts that Peter Thompson built, erected, free of cost with his crew. And he had to pay his crew because he was the roof man back in the day.
Yes.
Peter erected them free, never asked for $1. But yet now people don't know the story like the Honorable Ard McLean would say, but they know they can now come and enjoy the glory. Peter built them free, and I also don't hear them being concerned about so many kids are coming home with their bachelors and their masters, but yet have to sit on their parents' sofa waiting for a call of 9 and 10 resume that was submitted that they get no call from. A lot of them also in the government department, you know? All right. That I'll finish with them though. I don't be concerned about all those things, but
I'm gonna ask you to pause for a second. Do we have any other caller on hold with Susan? No, we don't have any caller on hold, so we're gonna ask you to hold on so that we can take a commercial break, and then we're gonna come back to you, Lord Graham. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what, though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Cayman! Are you ready for the ultimate flavor festival? Cayman Wing Fest 2026 hits the Great Lawn at Pedro St. James on Saturday, August 29th from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Witness history with Cayman's first ever all-you-can-eat wing battle and the brutal Can You Manage the Spice Challenge? Live on stage. Wash down the heat with refreshing ice-cold Coca-Cola. Grab your Tier 2 passes today on ticketsplus.ky before lawn capacity caps out.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. 12 minutes before we go to our 8 o'clock news. We still have our caller on hold. Caller, go right ahead.
Okay, Mr. Connor, I did hear them made mention of the landfill. Mount Trashmore, as the Honorable McLean have labeled it. Okay, but I don't hear them come up with no solution. But I'm going to tell you who have the solution, and I would like for you to invite these four gentlemen at one of your shows and have a good discussion concerning, and they have facts. Mr. Arden McLean, Honorable, who has a report. He went as far as California. He went as far as Europe. I think it was Germany, Miami, and he have a report on that landfill. So I would like you to invite Mr. Arden, Honorable Arden McLean, Mr. Wallen Whitaker, who was studying landfill and environment issues long before we even thought about it. Because when I went to Barbados for school, me and Wally would hang out on weekends. He was up there studying in that from then. So, and he did a good job, and he hired a lot of Caymanians that are still there. Some of them now is up for retirement that stayed in the job. So don't tell me Caymanians don't want to work. They work in garbage all them life and never miss a day. Okay? Mr. Mario Rankin, who went, I think of Seattle somewhere about to do something with study something about the metal, the accumulation of the metal and exporting the metal.
Okay.
And Mr. Alfonso Wright, who did a study on the separation of your garbage. What you call that again?
The sorting.
The sorting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a huge report with that, along with the Honorable McLean. So I think it would be nice if you would suspend some of those other ones that come on here that say the same thing over and over and over and over here a week. I think you enjoying their entertainment, because half of the time you have to do an input to try and, balance what he be saying, because half the time what he be saying not relevant. But I think you should get the four of those gentlemen at your table and have a discussion and tell the Honorable Arden McLean to bring that lengthy report that he have. I don't know if he left it in the admin building. I don't know if that was their property or whether he took it home. But you know him. He got it all in his head. You know the man. I don't see it.
Yep.
We just not getting no avocados from him. I don't know about you, but I hear other people getting.
Yeah, okay. Not yet. But I'm sure I'm sure that I will.
Yeah, if you got to take a trip up there one Saturday, bring that big one, the big one. All right.
All right.
That's what I got to say today.
Yep. I will certainly try to arrange that to to get some independent thinkers in relation to the landfill and some of the solutions that are available as well.
Yeah, because see, I don't know where we got to go next, because they went down now to almost to the road. You remember that last fire? That they had,
mm-hmm.
The vegetation across the street was smoked up and got burned. Across the street.
Wow,
that's how close. Yeah. So I don't know what the only way we can go now is back towards the town. Make that left, right or left turn, and come back now out towards where the cement mixers, cement factories are.
Mm-hmm. Come
back that way. Well. And then what will happen now when it get to the point where we can't go no more? What we gonna do then? We'll see.
Yep.
Yeah, you getting boy that already the dog leg that they done that already up to the top, straight up to the top.
Yep.
So I don't know where they're going next.
It needs addressing. Yeah, we can't wait for if the lifespan of the area that we have now, if that's only 5 years and we can't extend it any further than that, then we really need to start to work on that, as early as we can. And the longer we wait, the more expensive it's going to be, unless we come up with cheaper alternatives. Yeah. Okay, Lord Graham, I want to thank you. Thank you very much for that. As many of you, as we have another caller? Okay, I was going to talk a little bit about the Caribbean Court of Justice and what's happening, over there. Some leaks of emails between the Chief Justice and others. There, big fallout. But if you're interested in that, you can. I'll tell you where to find that information. Interesting dialogue going on there as well. We do have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC.
Morning. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are things up in the back? Over in the back?
Oh, beautiful, man. I'm just on there, down in the little park, and looking out at the ocean. Everything is beautiful, nice weather. But I'd say, Lord Graham, but that team have been stronger than my hub. One of you come on this morning, and he wouldn't shoot no scatter shots in a pure slug. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, but what he said, every word what that man said was the truth. But I say that, but I just wrapped up for it. Yeah, man, I tell you the truth, and this is the truth. I mean, we all came on young. And Mr. Tatum is a well-educated man. he holds position in life that I could never hold, right? I mean, right now, well, the spot he gone now, I could hold that and hold it down a lot better than what he doing. And this is the gospel truth. Because I listen over and over to Mr. Tatum come on. He'll talk about a little park in his constituency. And he'll talk about things that were done from 2009 during PPM, and he was the big advisor then. Why it not done now from 2009? Why it not done? Because they only didn't want nothing done about it. But now, you're talking about this government. Sure, good and fine. But you are not offering any solution. So all you're doing, you got your tires jacked up and your car is in gear. You're not going anywhere. Your tires are off of the ground. When there is a thing called criticism, and then there's a thing called constructive criticism. That is the one that you learn from. Because, see, if I keep telling you that, you're doing this wrong, but if I'm not offering a solution, I am just useless. All I am doing, to me, is make myself look like a fool to try to make you look like a fool. You know? Yeah. So when I talking something about anybody, government or the opposition, I can say this what I would do, bro. You understand me? And about the landfill, that is one of the biggest disgrace on our elected members. You know, I mean, I hear them running, not my backyard, but it is in the heart of the city, right next to your beautiful beach. I mean, every time we wait to get it done, it costs another $200,000, but the longer it is, the more it got cost, because right now, Cayman Rock, I drove into Cayman Rock landfill. I don't go there often. I don't have to now. I know, see, man, let me tell you something. The amount of tires, the old vehicles, and it's just, I hear they come in take away some metal now. I don't know. But, see, another thing now, the silence is deafening on this. See, we have an industry. I got to get somebody FYI just for me. Remember I talked to you about it before, how much customs is taken in on there. The Judas for the message is called marijuana, right? Now, see, I know, you know, that we cannot fully legalize marijuana. We cannot do it. Under our situation now, with England, relationship, it can't be done. I know that. But, Mr. O.C., it can be decriminalized. It can be grown and regulated for medicinal purposes. Because if the law that came on Ireland and our agreement on the England allows us to bring it in, import it to our country, I don't see no place that we can have any problem starting an industry. Because listen, I am the farmer, see? You working in the laboratory, right? Refining it. The next person is bottling it, prepping it. Then it goes on to the pharmacist, then to the doctor. That is a whole industry by itself. And listen to me. I don't care who like it or who don't. But the marijuana is here now, and it's our time to capitalize on it. And how I would like to tell that person that get away with a suspended sentence for 88 pounds of ganja, let me tell you, Bobo, you continue praying because God on your side. You hear what I tell you? And how, Mr. Orrett, you have a nice day.
Thank you. You do the same thing. Stay safe. Have a great weekend as well. Before we go to our 8 o'clock news, we have been asked to wish happy birthday tomorrow. It's coming up for Ian over in the Brack. And happy birthday greetings coming from Ter, T-E-R-R. So, Ian, happy birthday when it comes. Birthday greetings coming from Ter. With that, folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, we will have guests in the studio. We will be talking about tobacco legislation with Honorable Wayne Panton. I believe he may be acting minister for health at this point in time, but we will get the details in terms of his acting capacity when we return after the 8 o'clock news. So, folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back with you immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With a look at Radio Cayman's morning news, I'm Dion Anglin. Government coffers are looking healthy at the halfway mark of 2026. New figures show a surplus above forecast. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has the numbers.
Property transactions are doing a lot of heavy lifting in the government books this year. The quarterly financial report, gazetted last week, shows stamp duty on land transfers bringing in nearly $81 million in the first 6 months. $22 million above budget and almost $33 million more than the same period last year. That jump follows January's increase in the stamp duty rate from 7.5% to 10%. Add in a busy start to the year for financial services registrations and a record tourism season, and the entire public sector closed the half year with a $252.3 million surplus. That is 36% ahead of what government had projected. Revenues overall reached $856 million. Coercive revenues alone were up nearly $18 million over the second quarter of last year, led by property levies. Investment income also climbed with higher cash balances, earning more on deposit. Spending stayed in check. Operating expenses came in $13.4 million under budget, though the report warns that some of that reflects unfilled posts and projects that haven't started yet. The government's cash and deposits now total $589 million. That exceeds the total debt balance of $479 million. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
The Cayman Captive Forum has announced Chris Norton and Eric O'Neill as its keynote speakers for the 2026 event in December. Norton, a motivational speaker known for overcoming a severe spinal injury, will open the conference, while former FBI counterintelligence operative and cybersecurity expert Eric O'Neill will deliver the closing address. More than 1,500 delegates are expected to attend. The jury is set to enter a third day of deliberations in the murder trial of Devon Emmanuel Wright Jr. Mr. Wright is accused of abducting and murdering a toddler on Cayman Brack in 2022. The Crown says its circumstantial case excludes every other possible suspect, while the defense argues the evidence is inconclusive and leaves too many questions unanswered. Mr. Wright has not given evidence and called no witnesses. And Cayman National's president says energy and banking work together to support businesses.
The energy sector enables the economic activity, while the banking sector provides the sort of financial support and the capital and the expertise that help businesses to grow and develop.
Hislop appears in a Caribbean Utilities Company Limited's 60th anniversary feature. The company says Cayman's financial services industry depends on technology, connectivity, and continuous operations.
If you think back to pivotal things that contributed to Cayman's success, CUC's got to be there somewhere. And we wish you every success for the future.
Janet Hislop is president of Cayman National Bank and chief executive of Cayman National Corporation. Now for a look at news from around the world, here's the BBC.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. The Electoral Commission of Zambia has suspended the counting of votes after Thursday's general election, citing reports of violence targeting polling staff. The Commission said marked ballot papers had been stolen during attacks in some districts. Zambia has long been considered one of Africa's most stable democracies. Chad's President Mohamed Deby has pardoned the jailed former Prime Minister and opposition leader Suksay Masra, along with 8 opposition activists. They had been convicted on charges including organising a banned demonstration. At least 8 people are now known to have been killed in flooding caused by record rainfall east of the Japanese capital, Tokyo. Several areas in Chiba Prefecture are underwater with widespread damage to homes. President Prabowo Subianto of Indonesia has hit out at official corruption and vowed more state intervention in the economy. His annual Independence Day speech came as international investors are warning of falling confidence in his leadership. Activists have attempted to deliver supplies to Palestinians who've been trapped for almost a week by Israeli settlers in the occupied West Bank. The group left water and food for 2 Palestinian families. The spokesman for Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, has defended his reference to the UK as an Islamic republic. The British government has not yet responded. A parliamentary investigation into Nigel Farage, the leader of Britain's Populist Reform UK party, has resumed after he was re-elected in a by-election he triggered himself. He denies any wrongdoing in connection with an undeclared multi-million-dollar gift from a crypto billionaire and said voters in his constituency should decide his fate. The Spanish government is extending the operating life of the country's biggest nuclear plant to reduce exposure to turbulent energy markets. The Almaraz plant was due to close in 2 years' time. BBC News.
That's it for Radio Cayman's 8 o'clock morning news. I'm Dion Anglin.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways. Offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Synopsis indicate isolated showers with possible thunder is expected across the Cayman area as a tropical wave moves through the Western Caribbean. Conditions are expected to improve early Saturday. Moderate winds and seas will continue throughout the period. Radar imagery currently show a few showers in and around the Cayman area moving west. Now, the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will be in the low 90s with a heat index of 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Tonight, pretty much the same, partly cloudy skies with a slight haze and a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures falling near the low 80s. Winds east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 10:37, low tide this afternoon at 4:30, with a high tide again tonight at 10:40. The sun will set this evening at 6:52 and will rise tomorrow morning at 7 minutes past 6. And the outlook is calling for mainly partly cloudy skies as drier conditions with mild dust should persist over the weekend, Another tropical wave is expected to move through the Western Caribbean on Monday.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Brit Gay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brit-K, where people come first.
If you or your loved one is facing cancer, only Sylvester will stand firmly by your side at every step, from diagnosis through survivorship, providing you and your family peace of mind and assisting with everything you need before, during, and after your stay with us. Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center is South Florida's only NCI-designated cancer center and specializes in treating the most complex cancer cases. Your first-class cancer care is just a flight away. Learn more at sylvester.org.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Got something on your mind that you want to share?
You can send a text,
send a voice note,
or even request a song. Go on, give it a try. Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today. And get active with Radio Cayman. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, #Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning, let's check in now with traffic, see what's flowing. Flowing nicely on Eastern Avenue and Godfrey Nixon Way. Let's look to the West Bay area. On the West Bay Road, traffic is steady, heading towards the Georgetown area in front of the Ritz, and heading to the West Bay area, moving at a moderate pace. Looking to the east on Shamrock Road, further up, flowing at a moderate pace as well. As you approach the Linford Pearson Highway, steady but flowing. Coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, flowing at a moderate pace, and coming off of the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way, traffic is flowing pretty good. If you've seen accidents or incidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Off the Ashley Tibbetts Highway, steady but flowing. North Sound Road, steady but flowing as well. Moderate flow of traffic in the Industrial Park area. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
Start your year off right with Subway's Fresh Fit menu. 4 protein-packed subs with 20 grams or more protein, under 500 calories, and loaded with full servings of crisp veggies on hearty multi-grain bread. Try the grilled chicken and avocado, the ham and turkey stacker, the seasoned steak and avocado, or the turkey and ranch delight. Big flavor, plenty of protein, and fresh veggies in every bite. Fuel your day the Fresh Fit way. Only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. is brought to you by The Light Room. Tired of being unwell and struggling to find the energy and vitality to live the life you desire? Come get recharged from the inside out at The Light Room. Our non-invasive, holistic energy enhancement system detoxifies and energizes the body, enabling self-healing and balance. Book online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL, 38 Pasadora Place, GT.
It's that time again, Cayman. The Pursuit of Excellence Foundation invites you to our 8th annual Ready, Set, Learn Back to School event, helping our students start the school year prepared, confident, and ready to achieve. Join us in Grand Cayman on Saturday, August 22nd from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Lion Center, and in Cayman Brac on Sunday, August 23rd from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Ashton Rutty Center. Come out for an afternoon of free school supplies, backpacks, refreshments, fun activities, giveaways, and so much more for students and families. For 8 years, Ready, Set, Learn has been bringing our community together to support Cayman's young people. And this year, we're doing it again.
So parents, bring the kids, spread the word, and come get ready, set, learn.
August 22nd in Grand Cayman and August 23rd in Cayman Brac from 2 to 5 p.m.
Presented by Pursuit of Excellence, the Lloyd Barker Foundation.
Empowering our youth, supporting our families, pursuing excellence together.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Before I introduce my guests into the studio, we've been asked to send birthday greetings to Miss Glennis Berry. Birthday greetings are coming from our children, grandchildren, and the remainder of the family as well. So happy birthday to Miss Glennis Berry. Little housekeeping before I introduce our guests as well. If you have any questions or comments in relation to the topic, we're going to ask you to please send your comments into our WhatsApp number 925-3261 in the event that we do not have sufficient time to take phone calls this morning. But if we do have time, we will certainly entertain phone calls on the topic. And folks, what is the topic? The topic is the Tobacco Amendment Bill 2026. And the Cayman Islands government is committed to protecting public health, especially among young people, from the harm associated with nicotine use. The rapid rise in vaping products presents a growing public concern. Here in the studio to talk about the Tobacco Amendment Bill 2026 are the Honorable Wayne Panton. He is the acting minister in the Ministry of Health, Environment, and Sustainability, and senior policy advisor in the ministry, Miss Lorren Stainton. Folks, good morning. Welcome. Should I say welcome back to For the Record for the acting minister? And I believe this may be the first time that I'm having you. I'm not sure. In the studio with me, Miss Stainton.
I think I was on once a little while ago.
Oh, okay. That's probably too long for my memory now at 75 years of age to recall as well. But
nothing wrong with your memory,
welcome.
Always a pleasure to come on here and join Mr. For the Record.
Thank you very much. So tell our listening and our viewing audience, about this amendment bill, what has driven it, and we'll talk about some of the contents of the bill as well and expectations.
Before I do that, I just want to make a comment where you started off in wishing happy birthday. Tomorrow is the birthday of my colleague, the Honorable Nicholas Da Costa.
Yes.
Minister Nicholas Da Costa.
Yes.
And I just wanted to take the opportunity to wish him a wonderful happy birthday on Saturday and to enjoy the weekend. Anyway, just to move on. So this Tobacco Amendment Bill is a part of a very broad reform of legislation that centers or is centered in this particular ministry under my colleague, the Honorable Catherine Ebanks Wilkes, who has been doing a phenomenal job, doing a lot of work. And this particular bill is one of four different bills that's being brought forward, and it's specifically designed to address an issue that has become a real concern. We've had the students' drug use survey that's done every 2 years by the National Drug Council, and that has really highlighted some alarming statistics. We have over 15% of the young people that have responded on that have indicated that they have actually started using vapes by the age of 13.
Wow.
And so half of those, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Lorren, but I think half of those have indicated that, they were, actually not half, I think 80%. Is that right?
Nearly half reported using marijuana.
Have been utilizing. Well, one was nicotine, and the other one was half of them was using marijuana.
Yes. Yeah.
So the Tobacco Act, as it is now, deals with controlling cigarettes, requiring information to be on the packages and controlling the sale and stuff. So this issue now relates to the disposable vapes.
Okay.
The use of vapes generally by young children, and in particular disposable vapes. And so we are going to, by this legislation, we are going to be banning disposable vapes. Part of the reason for that, or a significant part of the reason for that, is because they are disposable and they end up being like, you remember how cigarette butts on the sidewalk used to be ubiquitous?
Yes, yeah.
We're ending up with disposable vapes just being chucked around, and they end up in the landfill, and that's, we suspect that's in a number of instances, that's what's causing some of these quick fires on the landfill. So we're trying to address that from a public health perspective, concerns about protecting our young people who are utilizing vapes, and the use of it has rapidly increased, and it is, from an environmental perspective as well. So this bill is intended to prohibit the importation, sale, distribution, marketing of disposable vapes. It is intended to limit the access and use of vapes generally, the multi-use vapes to adults, anybody who's over the age of 18, so that we protect our young people who the evidence shows have been utilizing vapes at a very young age. Vapes have been around for not a great deal of time, but it has exploded in popularity with all kinds of combinations of things. And so along with that explosion of use, we've had a very significant rise in concerns around the health implications for this, because people tend to think that it's a healthier substitute, for example, than smoking cigarettes, when in fact we've had some significant evidence that demonstrates lung damage, but also what it demonstrates through this survey is that we've had a lot of younger people being exposed to the use of nicotine, the use of marijuana through these vapes, and perhaps developing addictive tendencies at a very early age, which we need to really protect our young people from. And when they're adults, fine, they can make that decision. So this bill has all kinds of provisions dealing with the requirements for information on the emissions from the vapes, the potential health implications, so that our public is fully informed, our adult public is fully informed. Anyway, I've been speaking a lot.
Sure. I was going to ask Lorren if we could talk, about some of the key proposals that are in the bill, the amending bill.
Yes, absolutely. And I think Acting Minister gave a really, thorough, excellent response. And I think the two key issues that we're trying to address in this legislation is banning children from vaping, essentially. So whether that's a disposable vape, single-use vape, or otherwise. And we know the information, that the local data we're collecting, and the National Drug Council, kudos to them, have done an excellent survey, and they've been doing that every 2 years. So in Cayman, we have local data to support. So we want to ban children from vaping, and we also want to ban disposable vapes altogether, so for children and adults.
Okay.
So no importation, no selling of disposable vapes, because we know that young people are using disposable vapes more than other vapes. It's quite accessible. I guess it's cheaper. And you can get all the very different, interesting flavours, different colours, and So we're looking to regulate vapes the same that we're doing for tobacco products. So we wouldn't expect that a child can go in and buy a pack of cigarettes. So we wouldn't expect them to be able to go in and buy a vape. In terms of the environmental degradation, environmental health, obviously our ministry spans health, environment and sustainability. So these amendments tie really nicely into that, because we know that we've spoken to Director Richard Sims, the Director of Environmental Health, and he does a fantastic job, but it's the disposable vapes that are going to landfill, and they contain these lithium-ion batteries. And so they can create sparks and smoulders and even fires. So we want to really look at limiting that. So just banning disposable vapes. So they're the two key focuses of this legislation.
Okay. Now, we always, especially in a capitalist society, you have to balance, the legislation, what you're doing in terms of the consumer, and at the same time, what effect it is likely to have on businesses. And it is unfortunate that sometimes you have to make that distinction, and you have to create that balance between the two. But how do you see this legislation affecting businesses in the Cayman Islands? And have you gotten any feedback? And we'll, of course, we'll talk about the consultation period that is out there as well, where you can, you're seeking to receive feedback from the public as well.
Yeah. I think I probably just want to start the answer by saying that in terms of banning the disposable vapes and limiting children from accessing vapes, in terms of where we're looking in different jurisdictions across the world, these proposals that we're bringing forward are not as extreme, I would say, as some other jurisdictions. But businesses will be impacted by these amendments. First and foremost, as soon as the legislation is hopefully passed in Parliament, the ban for children will be immediate. So you will no longer be able to sell to a child. And we would hope that, retailers are not doing that, just from a moral standpoint and a health standpoint. But in terms of the adjustment period, we've proposed a 6-month adjustment period. So businesses will stop ordering disposable vapes. They will look at what their stock is doing. But I just want to emphasise that is a proposal. And as you mentioned, we have a consultation period. So we want to hear from businesses around, do we think that's too long? Do we think that's not long enough? So that's what the proposal is at this point, is a 6-month adjustment period.
OC, I'm a free market person. I believe in the free market, but I also believe strongly that when it comes to protecting our children, when it comes to public health, that, we need to make decisions about balancing those interests appropriately. And I know this is exactly the approach that the minister wishes to take in this respect. That's why she's bringing forward these 4 bills that she's doing right now. One is to do with public health, one is to do with environmental health, tobacco amendment, and there's a health practice amendment bill as well. All to do with making sure that our environment, which adds to our health, and public health is dealt with, and this is a part of it. And we have this evidence from the surveys and stuff that, which basically is supporting our approach in this respect. So it's about balancing these interests. And I also want to say that what we must recognize is the implications of the ages that have been indicated in these surveys. If we have young people, people who are less than 18, participating in this stuff, but in particular, if we have a high percentage of our children who are less than 13, which is what this indicates that nearly like 15.5% are a little over 15.5% are participating in this, less than 13. That has considerable implications of concern for children in an educational context. If they're utilizing, for example, nicotine in these products, and sometimes they may do it because they feel that it helps them, get through school and manage things. But the health implications for that, the potential for it to harm their educational potential is significant as well. So we need to be very careful. We unfortunately have, the technology improves so much. We have these little packets now that you can buy, where the kids are putting these little packets of nicotine that the pouches that just dissolve, and they put it inside their cheeks up above their teeth, on the side of their gum, and you can't see it unless you do a intrusive review of their mouth. And so the technology has allowed significant potential for our young children, young people to be exposed to some of these products far greater than what we ever knew in our past. You had to smoke or drink something.
And also to avoid detection as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's important to emphasise, because we know from the National Drug Council that vaping is a real issue in the community amongst our youth. But it's also these other forms of nicotine use. So the legislation will seek to address all of that. So banning nicotine products for minors.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, I have 2 questions from our listening and viewing audience. I will share those with you. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, in the studio with me we have Ms. Lorren Stainton, who is the Senior Policy Advisor in the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability, and Acting Minister for the Ministry, Honourable Wayne Panton. So 2 questions we had. One had to do with how did we get where we're at in the Cayman Islands as far as vaping is concerned. And then this one is a little bit longer. I'll try to read most of it. I may paraphrase some as well. So the person says that they have been speaking against vaping from the time it first became popular, especially because of the harm it can cause to young people. They go on to say that they are pleased to see stronger action being taken against disposable vapes. The concern should not only be about vapes being thrown on sidewalks and creating environmental waste. We also have to consider the health consequences Vaping can damage the lungs, and nicotine can affect the developing brain, particularly in young people. I have personally seen young people whose health and well-being have been affected, and this is something we should take seriously. I also believe we need a wider public health discussion about cigarettes and other substances. Any discussion about marijuana and possible legislation should be dealt with separately, responsibly, and under proper laws and medical and public health guidance. Our priority must be protecting our young people, our elderly, the wider community from preventable harm. Then they go on to say, vaping does not only affect children and young people, it can harm people of all ages. It can seriously affect the lungs. That's repeating what they said before. So,
I'm not going to argue against any of that. That is I think, very. I thank the listener for those comments. That is 100% why we're taking this approach. But I want to emphasize on behalf of the Honourable Minister Catherine Ebanks-Wilkes, the primary concern is from a public health perspective. It's about our concerns around protecting the young people of today. So the young people of today, today's generations and the generations of the future, in terms of having this legislation in place. It is of paramount importance to her in this ministry to ensure that we're protecting young people. Yeah. And that's why she's shown the courage to take this bill forward and to deal with banning the disposable vapes and banning the use of vapes by children under the age of 18. As I said, if you're an adult, you're 18 or over, then what we're trying to do is ensure that we provide the best possible information in terms of the health risks and the implications around vaping. And that the bill contains provisions dealing with that. It contains provisions dealing with how vendors are supposed to ensure that they're not selling to kids and these types of things. But I'll let Lorren speak to.
Sure. No, I just wanted to second that, because under our ministry, we have a big ministry. We have health, environment and sustainability. Yeah. So we're very busy all the time. But we have a lot of legislation, and I think of all the ministries, perhaps we are the one that are responsible for the most pieces of legislation. But I think that the minister has shown bravery, because we have the public health, environmental health, health practice, and then tobacco. And of all the legislation, this is possibly the most important piece of health legislation. It was originally sort of commenced in 2008, so it's nearly 20 years, and obviously it hasn't kept up with the market. Manufacturers are finding ways to evade definitions of tobacco, and what the current definition says, it's a derivative of the plant, so it might be a leaf or an extract, but we know that nicotine is being created in laboratories. So it's completely evading definitions that we have in our current legislation. So the minister has been brave. We've got a big agenda. We've got a lot of reform, and this is one of the most important ones. But I think, why has it gotten to this point? I think there was this thought that vaping was, not harmful or not as harmful as cigarettes. And I think when vapes first came onto the market, it was to transition off traditional cigarette smoking. So it was seen as that step down. And you can even buy vapes that don't contain any nicotine in it. Okay. So, and we do see that children about 1 in 5 are using these non-nicotine containing vapes, but that's still not a healthy option. We know that impacts on the lungs, and actually we have the Health Services Authority in their laboratory. They've looked at samples of what is in these non-nicotine containing vapes, and there's actually quite harmful chemicals still in those, even though there's not nicotine to get you addicted and get you hooked on this. You are ingesting and inhaling really harmful chemicals. So I think we want to dispel the myth that, vaping is healthy or not harmful, because it's just not true.
And I think just to add, one of the other things that's been obvious is that people, because they tend to think it's a healthier alternative, perhaps, they tend to vape even more than they may have been smoking previously. So it, just to second what Lorren says, it is not a healthier alternative. It has risks, even if it doesn't have nicotine. There are lots of risks because they put in, and like so many products these days, they put all these types of plethora of flavors in. That's where a lot of the chemicals come from, and that's designed. Let's face it. What is that designed to do? That is designed to appeal to young people, right? That's where the market is, and that's where they're pushing these things.
And
so
repeated use means addiction. Yeah.
As a government and in the Ministry of Health, we take our responsibility to ensure that we're looking out for threats to public health, looking out for threats in particular to our young people. And the minister is showing the courage to deal with issues like this. Is this going to be popular? Is it popular to say, I mean, go into any gas station these days, there's like everything else has been taken up by vaping products, right? Wow. Is it popular to take this approach? No. Is it necessary? If we want to ensure the health of our young people, if we want to ensure the health of today's generation and the generations in the future to come, we must do this. And the minister is showing the courage to do it. And I congratulate her, and she has the full support of the government, because we all recognize this is something we have to do to protect our children.
And we continue to see more and more legislation being driven by the data as well. And you have quoted, some statistics here as well. Can you talk about the drive behind the legislation based on the data that you have obtained? And of course, we don't have representatives from the National Drug Council in the studio with us this morning, but can you, if possible, can you talk about the type of support that you have received from them as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the National Drug Council have been around for a while, and every 2 years they do this survey. So they go out to the schools and they ask students questions about not only about vaping, about cigarette smoking, about mental health, about bullying. It's a range of different questions. But they provide a really solid evidence base and a great foundation for the ministry then to look at policies and amending legislation on. So I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for the hard work that they do, because it provides Cayman with our own statistics, which is really important.
Yes.
If I may, so the director has shared the 2026, some of the research that they've conducted and the statistics. It's not yet out for the public, but she shared this, so I'll just read a few with you. So the average age at which youth in Cayman first tried a vaping product is 12. So we see that's a little bit different from 2024. So it's gradually getting a little bit younger, which is quite concerning. About 1 in 8 students have used a vaping product in the past 12 months. There's a gender dimension to vaping, and we're not quite sure why that is, but it looks like girls were more likely than boys to report the use of a vaping product. So we're not, as I said, we haven't really unpacked that yet. We don't know why. What are the boys doing? But we're going to have to go back and have a look and work with the NDC on that. Of the students who vaped in the past 12 months, so the past year, around 8 in 10 used a nicotine vaping product. Around 1 in 3 used a cannabis vaping product. So we can kind of see that transition away into kind of these illicit substances. So it could be a bit of a pathway into illicit substance use. 4 in 10 students have used both a nicotine and cannabis vaping product. And it was probably more prevalent in year 11, with about a quarter of students using. Of past 30-day use, so this is in the past month, a total of around 250 students reported using a nicotine vape in the past 30 days before the survey. And then about 1 in 5 of those students reported vaping nicotine every single day.
Wow.
And then the same number of students, nearly 1 in 10 of these students reported using a cannabis vape every single day. So really, really concerning. And these are the recent findings. So we didn't have access to these before. They just sent them about a week ago. Wow. So it's really great to see that. I mean, not great to see it, but at least we have this local evidence. It's actually quite shocking. But when you're talking about the drive to amend legislation and policy, it's excellent that the NDC provides this to the ministry.
Yes, excellent.
And also the same survey that provides this data reflects what is happening across the Caribbean, and quite often across the world, is that we are having a mental health crisis, particularly in relation to young people. And I'm not going to speculate as to cause and effect and all this sort of stuff. It may just be, it may be to some extent unrelated, but it's certainly not possible to say it is. I would say it's not likely that it is. So we have a lot of stress on with young people these days. The challenge is, the world is a whole different place than it was when you and I were that age.
That's right. Yes.
Sorry, not trying to date ourselves and heat you up.
No.
Probably a lot different from you as well, Lorren. Although I'm sure you're not that old compared to us. So these are things. There's things we have to look at very carefully and try to balance these interests, and balance the interests of business versus the public health threat and the threat to our young people.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. So when we return, we want to talk about enforcement as well, because a lot of times you hear about legislation being introduced and then later on having to go back to men, and no legislation is perfect, but there's always a talk about whether or not there's enough teeth in there as far as enforcement is concerned. So we will talk about that as soon as we return, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Think vaping is just a cloud? Think again. Vaping is affecting young people across the Cayman Islands, and now you have a chance to be part of the conversation. The Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability is asking young people to share their views on proposed changes to tobacco and vaping laws. Learn about the proposals and make your voice heard, because the choices we make today help shape the Cayman Islands we live in tomorrow. Log on to publicconsultation.gov.ky. The consultation opens on the 21st of August.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superhero shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Hey fam, it's Korovaka Uta here, aka Grandstand, and I just wanted to wish the Radio Cayman family a big happy 50th anniversary. I've got some great memories of working at Radio Cayman from 2006 to 2011, and I really appreciate you all. So big love to the Radio Cayman staff and listeners.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of this segment of the show with representatives from the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability in the person of Senior Policy Advisor, Ms. Lorren Stainton, and the Acting Minister, Honorable Wayne Panton. Two more comments from our listeners. One, a pleasant good morning to you and your guests. I applaud government for bringing this bill forward. My primary concerns are enforcement and sanctions. Can either of your guests speak to how the legislation will be enforced? Person must have been reading my mind, because they actually sent it before I said that. And here's another one. This one is fairly long as well. I'll give you an opportunity to respond to the one about enforcement, and I can sort of see how I can paraphrase the second one.
Thank you, Osi. And the front line on the from the perspective of banning the disposal of vapes is going to be our Customs and Border Control folks. And so this act has provisions which intersect with the Customs and Border Control Act and the Customs Tariffs Act. And there are also other provisions dealing with enforcement, dealing with, as I said earlier, information around education and trying to get people to understand exactly what the implications are. I'll let Lorren speak to that.
Sure.
So CBC will obviously play a key role, and also the Department of Environmental Health and our environmental health officers and our police constables. So the same way they go out and regulate tobacco, selling to minors, the legislation has been written in a way that it includes vaping and other nicotine products. So in terms of the framework, it'll be the same. We have had some initial feedback because we have been quite busy already doing town halls, even though the bill is not up yet. Or actually, I think it's just gone up. But
Published yesterday.
Published yesterday, thank you. But it hadn't been the week prior. But what the minister was really keen to do was to go out and speak to the public and talk about what we want to achieve with this legislation, to get any initial feedback, to see if we're on the right track with it. And I have to say that overwhelmingly it's been a really positive response. We did get one response in terms of the ability to issue administrative fines. So currently the framework doesn't allow for that. It's going through the court system as it has been with the original tobacco, just because the fines are quite hefty, which is good, is a good thing. But there was a conversation around, do we need to enable some type of on-the-spot fine? So that is something that we're going to take back and consider. But at the moment, the framework is the same as what we've been using before, and it's just strengthening the powers.
Okay, and the other email, the other message that we received, has to do, with the effects and stuff. What I will do is I'll arrange to have this forwarded to the ministry, and then you can.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
See what the
Absolutely,
person has to say.
that would be very helpful.
Yes.
I mean, as Lorren was saying, with the minister and the team have been engaged in these various town halls around these 4 particular bills. What we're doing this morning is a part of the public engagement and public discussion about the bill, so that people are informed. We do have some other. I think
we've got
a couple of additional town halls
Yeah.
coming up. This bill is going to be on, all of the bills are going to be on the government's public consultation site.
Yeah.
Lorren, you can articulate the URL for that.
And the 21st of August is when the consultation period begins, I believe, or feedback.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if we published it yesterday, I think that was the plan.
Then okay,
if we published it yesterday, then
we're ahead of schedule.
We're ahead of schedule.
Oh, great.
That means that we need to put it on the public consultations website.
Yes.
The government.
Yeah, I want to bring that mic closer to you there, Minister.
Just providing additional opportunity. But it's really important for the public to interact on this. This is how we build better, stronger legislation that's more effective, that achieves the purpose that we desire, and helps to get the balance right. As I think we recognize that there are people who are going to be less enamored with this approach, but this is to give everybody the opportunity to provide their input and their perspective on it, so that we get the best possible. So it's important. So what we provide right now is clear rules for businesses in the draft, and we provide the tools in the draft for authorities to be able to enforce the law and be able to hold offenders accountable. And clearly some of the questions you've articulated reflects concerns around that. But this is about, giving the public the opportunity to provide their input and their feedback on both sides of the issue, so that we hopefully get the balance, as the way it should be, and we end up with a more effective piece of legislation that, serves its purpose.
And if I may, Acting Minister did mention the town halls, and I just wanted to invite your listeners to come along if they have time. So we've got one in West Bay on Wednesday, the 26th of August, from 6:30 to 8:30 in the evening, and that's at John Gray Memorial Church Hall.
Okay.
And then in Georgetown on the Thursday, the 27th of August, so the following night, from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Constitution Hall. And we also we visited our sister islands, so we went to Cayman Bracken, Little Cayman, and so we got some really good feedback and attendance there, so thank you.
Okay, we still have some more time left as well, so I want to continue the discussion. You spoke about the fact that the framework for enforcement basically similar, you're just adding, more to it.
Mm-hmm.
How can you speak to the success so far as the sale of tobacco items to young people? Because there's an age limit within which you can purchase. I haven't heard, anecdotally, any issues in terms of with that. So it seems to be working pretty well. I would seek your view on it.
When we did our kind of internal consultation, we spoke to Customs and Border Control, we spoke to Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, and colleagues in those departments didn't mention that there was a particular issue with the sale of tobacco products to minors, which was really encouraging. But we do know from what the National Drug Council has told us, because they do quite a lot of outreach with young people, they are aware that there are some retailers that are selling vapes to children, and I think they kind of potentially know which couple of retailers they are. So that's really helpful information for us to kind of feed back to the police and Department of Environmental Health, because they'll have a responsibility in terms of enforcement. Because once these changes come into effect, the government is really serious about retailers selling these products to minors. So, I mean, we're serious about it now, but in terms of coming down and the enforcement, we'll be looking out for that.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know how much time we have left.
We have about 4 minutes.
Couple of minutes.
About 4 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say that, this initiative, as to begin where I started off, this is, a significant health, a reform of the public health legislation, health-related legislation. And it is something that, as I said, is very important to Minister Cathy. And as I said earlier as well, this really reflects a level of courage to take this forward and deal with these issues. What she is trying to achieve is a healthier Cayman, a Cayman that's protected, or in terms of youth, in particular, the harms of vaping. But obviously that must relate to adults as well, in terms of the information and education that we provide around this. So if we can have fewer young people starting the use of vaping as they get 18, if we have more of them that stay nicotine free, what it really means for tomorrow is potentially reduced addiction, fewer health costs, a stronger community, and this is all of this effort, and the wonderful folks that work in the ministry that do all this great policy-based work. This is about their efforts to produce a better future, a better Cayman, a stronger Cayman that is healthier. There is no point to being successful if you lose your health, right?
Yeah.
That is the old adage of health is wealth. It is critically important that we ensure that we protect our young people in particular, who may be perhaps less able to make informed decisions, but we are trying to make sure that we're protecting them and informing the decisions of our adults as well.
Yeah, and you're avoiding those health issues later on in life if you ensure that they don't.
Exactly.
I want to remind our listeners and our viewers again about the town hall meetings, the meetings that you have. So, Ms. Lorren, we're going to ask you to repeat those as well for us.
Sure. So for your listeners, please come and join us at West Bay. So that's Wednesday the 26th of August from 6:30 to 8:30 in the evening at John Gray Memorial Church Hall. And then in Georgetown the following night, so that will be Thursday the 27th of August, same time, 6:30 to 8:30 at night, and that will be at Constitution Hall.
Excellent. And do you have any closing comments that you want to add, Ms. Lorren?
I did actually, and I just think for any young people that are listening, or any people that can kind of relay a message to young people, the government is really here trying to support you and help you. It's not about penalising you or taking your fun away. We really have your best interests at heart. And if you are struggling with nicotine addiction, please do reach out to your school health nurse, your GP, and you can contact the Health Services Authority because they've got a specific clinic around trying to help people get off nicotine when they're addicted. So you can call the Health Services Authority on 949 8600.
Okay, I want to thank both of you. Excellent discussion this morning. Lots of information put out there. I want to thank all of our listeners who contributed to the discussion as well, folks. We're going to go to headline news. When we return, we will have the new Director of Customs and Border Control in the studio with us. We almost invoked his name into the discussion as well, because they will certainly be playing a role when these amendments to the tobacco bill come into effect as well. So don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority. Government finances are running ahead of expectations halfway through 2026. The latest quarterly financial report shows a budget surplus driven largely by booming property activity. Stamp duty revenue hit nearly $81 million in 6 months, about $22 million above forecast, after the rate jumped from 7.5% to 10% in January. Good morning, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere, record rainfall in eastern Japan has left at least 8 people dead and thousands stranded in Narita Airport. More than 20,000 homes in Chiba lost power as authorities issued their highest emergency alert. The warning has since been lowered, but officials say landslide and flooding risks remain with an unusually active typhoon season underway. And Selena Gomez is facing a lawsuit from 5 investors in her mental health startup Wondermind Global. They claim she failed to deliver on promises to build the brand, leaving the company in what they call a state of financial calamity. The suit seeks $1.2 million plus costs and damages. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
HSA's orthopedic clinic has relocated to the 2nd floor of the Smith Road Medical Center. Our dedicated team of highly skilled orthopedic surgeons treat conditions ranging from spine to ankle injuries in adult and pediatric patients. We offer minimally invasive procedures from ligament reconstruction to hip and knee replacement. If you have experienced an injury due to sports or day-to-day activities, call 949-8600 and schedule an appointment with HSA's orthopedic clinic, now located at the Smith Road Medical Center.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive, drive smart. Cineco and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cineco motor insurance. Learn more and register at cineco.ky. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me now the new Director of Customs and Border Control in the Cayman Islands. I think it's now called Cayman Islands Customs and Border Control Service, CBC. None other than Mr. Marlon Bodden. Director Bodden will be discussing his recent appointment as Director of the Cayman Islands Customs and Border Control Service, his leadership approach, the role of CBC in protecting the Cayman Islands, and his priorities for strengthening the organization. So first of all, I want to say congratulations to Mr. Bodden on his new appointment. He comes with a wealth of experience and knowledge as well. And he's not new to Customs and Border Control. He was previously a deputy director before assuming the position. So again, congratulations, sir, and welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor, and thank you very much for the congratulatory message. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here on Radio Cayman to have some discussions regarding Customs and Border Control and what we do and some of the directions of travel that we intend to go in. Travel seems to be one of those words that fit into our business, travel and trade and so on. But yes, it gives me great privilege really to be the director of the Cayman Islands Customs and Border Control Service. I've spent a number of years in the public service now, and in particular in law enforcement. And I approach this particular responsibility with, I would say, a very clear understanding that border security is about protecting people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And not only that, but our officers on a daily basis, they are on the front lines, making sure that the Cayman Islands remains as safe as possible. And they are the ones that I am here to really celebrate and thank them for the excellent work that they are actually doing, and for them being constantly diligent and identifying threats and mitigating them where they are able to based on their training and development. For me as a person, I would say that this gives me a very unique opportunity to basically recognize the issue of security and service within the space of Customs and Border Control. So I'm happy that I have got the opportunity to lend of my experience and skill and work along with my wonderful team. And again, like I say, thanks very much for having me on your show, and I know we'll have a wonderful discussion.
Certainly. And for those who don't know it, before being with Customs and Border Control, you were also held senior positions with the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service as well.
Yes, sir. I actually was in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department. Another huge responsibility. And a lot of people recognize me from a lot of serious crime investigations and so on. And that has also helped me very much in my current post to understand the space, and not only that, but to forge and continue to develop the domestic and international relationships that I've built over time and built new ones that helps us to carry our responsibilities and duties in a professional way.
Mm-hmm. So you spoke, about leading an organization with both national security and public service mandate as well. And that public service mandate is extremely important because while you may have to use the iron fist, on one end to a certain extent, on the other end, as well, you have to project that image and your actions being on the front line, and to a certain extent an ambassador, your staff being ambassadors for the Cayman Islands, because they make that first impression when visitors come to our island. Not only visitors, but even returning residents as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, our responsibilities are very unique. There's a no-nonsense side of the organization, as we mentioned, about the security aspect of it, the national security interests, but also that public service component that we have to also make sure that we not only treat people fairly, but respectfully when we carry out our duties. Sometimes individuals may not have realized that they have breached or infringed a rule, and the key that we keep driving from the senior management team downwards is to remember that the individuals haven't done us anything personal. We are enforcers of the rules of the laws, and even though we may have to take sometimes very direct, hard, actions like, take a person to the law courts, we can take a couple of minutes and explain to them why. That makes a significant difference, when we do that, because again, it's all about justice, right? So, when we do that, it's about the balance that we carry, how we carry our duties.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you speak to the role that Customs and Border Control has taken on now, as opposed to the traditional role years ago when you were basically more concerned about the importation of goods, but now you're also involved in terms of a person's ability to remain in the Cayman Islands as well?
Right. So we have a very large remit to facilitate legitimate trade and travel, right, as the way it's actually written and how we actually encapsulate all of that. But at the same time, what we do is we make sure that we understand that we cannot close the borders. We cannot control the borders. We can only manage risk. And that is the way that we go about it. So those individuals that may have come into or intend to come to the Cayman Islands for some reason that will disrupt national security or whatever, those are the individuals that we pay attention to, to make sure that we keep the place safe. And of course, we do that lawfully. We make sure that we do all of the document verifications. Mm-hmm. We make sure we check everything that they provide to us. And of course, if we need to take any other further action, we do that. But at the same time, we continue to recognize that we must continue to dignify individuals, irrespective of what. And you will constantly hear me mention that because customer service is a big thing for us. We deal with a lot of different individuals that come through our ports, and we want individuals to understand and know that even though we're going to do our job, we don't want you to feel fearful. Just cooperate. We'll explain to you if you need to. You stand ready to provide us any verification information that we are seeking to actually verify, so that you can be on your way, and we can make sure that we maintain our protection of the borders in that way.
Yeah, and I believe that you probably getting a lot of cooperation from the general public, because I continue to hear anecdotally more people say, listen, when I go overseas and I purchase something, I ensure that I have kept all of my receipts. I present them to the officer who's at the control at the desk. I present them to them, and more and more cooperation like that means that you can then focus on those persons who have nefarious intent.
Right. And, we learn from the public. And if we keep hearing the public saying that, they seem to be a little, I would say, anxious when they come into the airport, that means that we're probably not doing a good job communicating our messages to let them know, what our roles are, and there's no need to be uncomfortable. We have to verify whether or not there's prohibited or restricted goods coming into the jurisdiction. We have a responsibility to protect our ecosystem. We have a broad remit. So all we are doing is just verifying to make sure that the environment remains safe and for everyone to enjoy. So it's we do see the cooperation. Individuals sometimes will just walk to us and say, here's my declaration, here's my receipts, here's everything that I purchased, and now, you can do your assessment. They stand there very patiently. They commend you when you're done. They hit happy when you're walking out through the door. And basically, this is what's been happening. And of course, on the other side of the coin, understandably, we have individuals, for whatever reason, sometimes they get a little, I would say, anxious, antsy, to put it, yeah. And they are the individuals that we give a little bit more attention. Sometimes we'll try our best to explain to them, but sometimes there's other things that's going on with them that cause us to have to deal with things a little differently. But they are in the minority. We get a good bit of cooperation from individuals that come in through the airport, through the seaport, and so on. So I would say that things are going well, but it's not lost on us that is not going to distract us.
Exactly.
We keep focus because we know sometimes people will come with one of the best approaches that make you think that they are God sent. And all the while that those individuals are the ones that you got to watch. But we train our officers good.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So, Director Bodden, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, I'd like you to talk, about the smooth transition in terms of leadership within CBC, and of course, you don't plan on being there forever, as well, and some of the things that you're doing to ensure that there can be, proper succession, in the future as well. And then we want to talk about some of the priorities that you have in place as well. We know that, you're a creature of statute and that you have to follow the law, but at the same time, there are different ways of following the law, and each person may have a different approach to it. And want to hear about your approach in terms of moving CBC forward as well. So folks,
Sure.
Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly. If you have any questions or comments, please send them to our WhatsApp number 925-3261. We hope to be able to open up the phone lines at some point in time to give you an opportunity to converse with Director Bodden as well. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superheroes shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Housing in the Cayman Islands affects families, renters, first-time buyers, seniors, and vulnerable residents. The Cayman Islands Public and Affordable Housing Policy and 10-year strategic plan provide a coordinated framework to improve housing access, increase supply, and guide phased implementation over time. Public presentations are being developed and will provide opportunities for the community to learn more about the policy and plan. Learn more and get the facts at gov.ky/housing plan. A message from the Ministry of Planning, Lands, Agriculture, Housing and Infrastructure.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation
on a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me Mr. Marlon Bodden, who is the new director of CBC here in the Cayman Islands. He recently assumed his position. We spoke earlier about his credentials, and also to point out that he also has a law degree as well. So you don't have any person, taking up the position as director of CBC. You have someone with qualifications. You have someone with experience, as well. He's in the leadership now. And like I said before we went to the commercial break, I wanted him to talk, about his plans, for and priorities for the department, including succession planning. Mr. Bodden.
Thank you very much, Mr. O.C. Yes, and, I would just take this opportunity now to just make a statement in the terms of your listening audience about the importance of education. They say education is designed to change a person's life. And it's not on the piece of paper that you have, but what you have learned and remembered. So I continue to encourage my staff about making sure that they engage themselves and they take advantage of the career development opportunities. Because, if you had told me when I joined the Cayman Islands government in 1982, if I knew I was going to be the director of CBC, I would tell you no. I didn't see that far. But as you start to take your journey, you realize the importance, but you prepare yourself along the way for whatever comes. And I don't want to hit this too hard, but we need to, because it's a lot of, and I'll say Caymanians that I really try to encourage. You make certain remarks, but prepare yourself. If you want to take certain positions within the government or even in the private sector, you have to educate yourself and prepare yourself for that. There's no use just making, rattles and noise if you do not prepare yourself. So I continue to encourage them to educate themselves. I mean, currently right now, at my stage of the game, I'm actually doing my master's in law.
Wow.
Okay. And a lot of people don't know that, but that's me. I just quiet. I just sit down, and when they think I'm sleeping, I'm studying, reading the books, right? But going back to the question in the terms of my priorities as director and so on, I'm gonna deal with it as a number of priorities. First one is the border security component. To protect our borders, because that is so important. Because this is including, making sure that we remain alert to the threats that is involved in illegal drugs that actually is being transshipped and brought into our island that destroys our communities, firearms and other prohibited items, undeclared and improperly declared goods, for example, financial crimes and different organized crime and document and identity fraud, and other unlawful entry type of matters. And of course, when we look around our environment, our neighbors and so on, we realize the transnational threats that we have to be very, very concerned about and make sure that our officers are significantly aware of these emerging threats. And then, we go on to also look at, you mentioned how it used to be before. Historically, we were operating in the basis where we felt like we had to do 100%, checks on everybody or all goods that come into the island and so on, which was the gatekeeper's approach. But as time and experience and data and everything else show us, it's all about having an intelligence-led where you manage the risk. We could ask all times for more staff. That is not going to happen. It's how we train them, how we deploy them to be able to deal with these emerging threats that we have identified and how we mitigate them. So, we move from that gatekeeper's approach to the intelligence-led risk management approach for a better description, which will help us to strengthen the security and the stability of our Cayman Islands borders. And then we are able then to better utilize information that we would have gathered from those type of strategies, and it help us to improve our risk identification. It also helps us to share information with our other partners locally and of course internationally, because no one border control agency are able to manage the borders on their own. You have to have partners and work with your stakeholders to help them, and they help us to be able to manage the borders. And then the most important part are people. I keep repeating that we got a lot of good equipment. We got a lot of, cars and all of the good stuff, all the little toys and stuff like that. Some people refer to them as scanners and everything. But our people is the most. Nothing compares to a well-trained officer to be able to utilize that equipment, because there are tools to help them to do their jobs efficiently. But again, we now need to head towards the direction of professional development, where the emerging threats and trends that are going on, we need to prepare our people to be able to come up through the ranks, to be able to take the responsibility and deal with these emerging issues. Leadership training, for example, is so important to the whole entire process. Succession planning, as one of your questions that you mentioned, as you indicated, and I'm well aware of that, I'm not going to be here all the days of my life in CBC. Even people that have less years than me, you can speak to them and they'll tell you right now, well, I don't intend to be so-and-so. But we just can't just say it. We got to plan for it. And that is my intentions for CBC. Governance, good leadership, and give the next generation of leaders in CBC an opportunity to be trained, develop, and be ready for it. I will say this, OC, and I make no apologies for this. Being Caymanian is not enough qualification. And I think that people are not necessarily understanding that concept. Yes, we will be the first individuals as based on the public service management law and stuff like that, and I wholeheartedly hold that and support it. But we need to prepare in order to give people the right opportunities to take the leadership roles, to take on these areas of succession. I have already engaged a lot of my staff, and I have actually brought to their attention, do not abandon career opportunities. Because succession planning is a very real thing. It makes no promises, but it gives an opportunity for you to have a deep bench, if for a better description, if we put it in a sports context, where you have options that you could say, anyone. I remember when I was at Bramshill Police College, a certain jurisdiction had 4 individuals there being given the strategic leadership in preparation for taking them into the police commissioner's space. That is good planning, and that is the kind of way that we need to prepare our team to be able to do it. It used to be where we could allow time to develop staff. We don't really have that much luxury anymore. We have to use education and, of course, timing as well, but education, exposure, and experience to do that. Second them, give them opportunities to see the world from a different perspective and understand how you administrate an organization, the challenges, the responsibilities that you will have as a leader to take you into the different space, professional standards, the integrity in how you manage and how you lead. You know, they say the higher up you go, the more you're exposed,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And, you know, those are things that we need to be able to recognize. And, of course, at the end of the day, the focus should be recognizing the excellent performance of your staff.
Yes. Yeah.
Rewarding staff for not doing their work right is contrary to developing and growing a good organization. So we need to work with those that are not up to par, bring them where they need to get, give them the support and opportunities, but at the same time, recognize it, call it out, deal with it in a professional way, and off we go to having a good, well-developed organization.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, I want to continue on this point and want you to talk about the opportunities externally and internally for your staff to hone their skills and to advance their education as far as the department is concerned as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay Mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us in the studio with me this morning, Mr. Director, Mr. Marlon Bodden, who is the recently appointed Director of Customs and Border Control in the Cayman Islands. Before I go back to him, I have been asked to send birthday greetings to Miss Christine Pearson. Birthday greetings are coming from your sister, Tashina, and Khalik. Khalik is, of course, would be her nephew, Miss Christine's nephew. So happy birthday, Miss Christine Pearson. Birthday greetings coming from Tashina and Khalik. Mr. Bodden, one of our listeners, has also written and said, congratulations to Mr. Bodden on the leadership and professionalism that you continue to demonstrate. I especially appreciate your emphasis on balancing firm enforcement with fairness, dignity, respect, and proper explanation. Customs and Border Control officers are often amongst the first representatives of the Cayman Islands who visitors and returning residents encounter. So the way people are treated can leave a lasting impression. Your point that officers may sometimes have to take strong actions while still remembering that nothing is personal and that every individual deserves to understand what is happening is very important. I also commend the wider responsibility of Customs and Border Control in protecting national security while facilitating legitimate travel and trade. That balance requires discipline, sound judgment, professionalism, and good customer service. Congratulations again, Mr. Bodden. May you continue to lead with strength, fairness, wisdom, integrity, and respect. B.E.A. And then they go on to say that they spent years helping to educate and build up everybody else. Now it's time for me to continue building myself. I may feel like a teenager going back to school, but education has no age limit. What I learned today will help me tomorrow. I want to thank that writer for that as well.
And I equally thank the listener and that writer for their actual congratulations, and I appreciate it. And I will continue to do my best, and my intention is to continue to make the Cayman Islands proud, and the decision makers that have actually took the decision to elevate me to this position, that they will realize that they didn't make a mistake.
Great. So we want to talk about the training externally and internally.
So let me take it from this stance first, which is a key point that I want to raise, and that is enforcement and customer service are not opposites. I will continue to encourage my team to be firm, but yet courteous with how they go about doing their business. Be fair and consistent and professional, because we expect the public to be cooperative and to abide by the law. So I have to expect that very same attitude and approach from my officers and support staff, because we got to be professional in how we operate. Now to the point of education. As I mentioned earlier, I am big on developing staff and so on. We have a very wonderful and I would say hefty budget to develop our team. And I want to thank my ministry for assisting us to get to that point, because they too recognize and is very supportive of us developing staff. And education is lovely because it strengthens the individual's ambition to move forward and to be confident in what you do. So we have opportunities not only locally, but also overseas. Locally, we make the provisions where we authorize and encourage staff to go to our civil service college, to participate in the ILM programs and facilitate opportunities for them to attend class during work and so on. And to also go to UCCI and be able to deal with their other tertiary education opportunities. And we provide finances in order to assist them. That is the level of support that we get from our ministry in order to support our teams to be able to lift their game. And not only locally, but also overseas. I am in some communication right now with some training environments about attachments, about giving officers opportunities to be able to see things in operation, to be able to expose themselves in how you administrate discipline and work with your teams and correct unsatisfactory behavior, that kind of stuff that will help to build their educational base and how they do it. Because you can't always go to school to actually deal with some of these things that this work teaches us. I mean, it can only sometimes come by experience. So those practitioners that are in the space and have been in the space for quite some time, they can take some time out and lend of their experience to those individuals that is up and coming to help them to be in a position to do it. So we look at leadership training, business administration, things that are directly related to what they do, and we actually support them and give them that space. So there's a myriad of opportunities that we provide to our staff in the terms of giving them that opportunity. But again, we heard this many times, you can take the horse to the well.
Can't force them to drink.
You can't make them drink.
Yes.
Sometimes when I engage with some of my staff, they say, well, I really don't have the time to do this, and I don't have the time to do that. And of course, I give them the words of encouragement and support and say, I understand you, but, we will never have enough time to do things. We just have to put time and sacrifice side by side and make the two work as a team. That is how we get these things done, right? So again, the training and development opportunities are there. The financial support are there. The leadership opportunities are there. The support from leadership is there. The support from our ministry is there. The support is all around. And again, like I say, my Minister of District Administration and Home Affairs is awesome in the terms of providing advice and guidance and support. And I cannot overemphasize the thanks that I have to say in regards to their leadership.
Mm-hmm. Now, the challenges as far as controlling trade and border continue to increase, especially, with new technologies and, keeping up with those persons who have malintent. They're usually ahead of the game. And, without giving away any secrets in terms of, what CBC is doing, would like you to talk about your ability to sort of try to, if not outpace, to keep pace with the technology that criminals are using. We see stories coming out in the press, about persons coming to the Cayman Islands for scamming purposes as well. So if you could talk about that. And we constantly hear our listeners and callers into the show talking about fingerprinting and whether or not we have moved beyond fingerprinting and whether there's other technology in use that can help, as far as protecting our borders in terms of those persons with criminal records coming to the Cayman Islands, or if they obtain a criminal record while here, being able to re-enter the Cayman Islands as well.
All right, so that's a fully loaded question.
Yep.
All right, so let's take it in little bite sizes. First things first, in relation to how we operate. I know you appreciate this, like what you mentioned, that we're not going to discuss tactics or anything like that, because we know that the bad actors are always looking at opportunities to say, okay, yeah, we can counter them this way and whatnot. But this is where training and development and learning from other countries and the trends and the different types of technologies that is on the market, the way that persons tend to hide contraband and the manner in which they do it, and they'll send 4 and 5 people on one flight, and say, well, okay, at least 4 will get away, or 1 will get away, or whatever the case may be, and they'll try the different distractions and all sorts of different antics that are being held. And this is where we continue to invest in training. We continue to push the issue of modernization and how technology impacts what we do, because the opposites are there. If we can use it, I'm quite sure that other individuals are able to do things to try to frustrate the legitimate way that we go about doing our job. And we understand and appreciate that. But any opportunity that we get to learn, equally, we do that. And of course, we do scenario-based training with our staff to make sure that they are involved in understanding firearms, for example, component parts, to identify those. They could be hidden in a motorbike, for example, that try to hide these things among ordinary things within it. So we try to train our staff in that space to try to understand those things, to try to prevent and detect as best that we can. Other things, for example, you mentioned about the way that persons travel and so on. We continue to train our staff to identify questioned documents in the terms of passports and other documents and make sure that who they say they are is who they are, and they are to provide proof. And in addition to that, we go through systematically testing the officers to pay attention to details.
Okay.
And to share their experiences with other officers. The safety component because we know that narcotics and so on now is taking different shapes and different forms, and how they come into the environment, and one mistake could cause some significant damage, not only to the officers but persons around them, and so on. So there's a lot of training and development that we actually push in that space, so persons and staff could be aware. We use different type of equipment to help them. You mentioned the scanners and so on. And you mentioned about the fingerprinting and so on at the thing. This is a policy decision. We are heading in the direction to make sure that everything that we do is legal. And in time, we will, roll that information out. For example, right now we are doing our paper declaration cards. We're moving to electronic space in the near future, but we'll hear more about that as time roll on. But we're looking at ways to make the traveling public have a better experience when they come and processing their documents and so on. But at the same time, we are not compromising the national security while we're doing that. So sometimes it may take a little while, but we make sure that we do it in the right way.
Okay. We're going to take our last commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence.
Hi, I'm Tommy from TCE Paint Shop. Growing up, my favorite programs on Radio Cayman was News Hour, The Request Hour, then followed by The House of Gold with the Kincaids. I remember listening to this with my grandmother on her cistern back in 1976. Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman, my choice for radio in the Cayman Islands.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Director of CBC, newly appointed Director of CBC, Mr. Marlon Bodden. We have so much more to talk about, but we only have about 13 minutes left to go in the show. We're going to have to extend another invitation for him to come back as well. I'm going to take this opportunity very quickly to plug the fact that the fish fry continues at the agriculture grounds today. That is done by the Cayman Islands Agricultural Society. So you can go to their kitchen, their Agricultural Society's kitchen, right next to the Department of Agriculture in Lower Valley. Their fish fry taking place from 10 until 2 p.m. And don't forget, folks, the combined East End and North Side local farmers market taking place at the East End Heritage Field tomorrow, Saturday the 15th, from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. As well. So we're going to conclude our discussion with Director Bodden now. And Director, I know you have spoken earlier, about your focus in terms of the public's perception of CBC and the professionalism that you want to be extended to the public as well. And you have placed so much emphasis, on that. And if people are dissatisfied with the treatment that they're receiving, what measures that you have in place that can address those concerns?
Okay. OC, and I say we, I mean all of us in our senior management team, take the concerns about the conduct, or the service delivery very seriously when it comes on CBC. We'll never be perfect, and we do understand and appreciate that, especially with the volume of interactions that we will have with the public on occasions. And sometimes you'll have disagreements and dissatisfactions, which is understandable. What matters is that the concerns are addressed appropriately, that we learn from the legitimate complaints that are being made, and that our officers are also supported when they have acted professionally and lawfully. Mm-hmm. But addressing unsatisfactory performance or conduct, we do have a professional standards section.
Okay.
And I'll basically give the email address now, and it's CBC complaints, plural, @gov.ky. CBC is complaints is one word. CBC complaints @gov.ky is the email address for anyone who feels dissatisfied that they can actually make a complaint in that forum, and it'll be investigated, and they'll respond to them and deal with it and respond back. We have an obligation to respond back to persons who make their complaints.
Great.
So on. If, of course, they can also call our direct telephone number 949-4579, and they can be transferred to our call center and be able to speak to someone if they need to. Mm-hmm. It is really a balance when it comes on complaints. A lot of individuals says, well, they don't like complaints, but complaints teaches us too.
Yes.
So we welcome the complaints, and that's why I use the term legitimate complaints. And we encourage the public to keep us on our toes and let us know, because we are a public service. We provide a public service, and we want the public to feed back to us if we're not doing it right.
Yep. Constructive criticism is good. Yes.
Correct. And the mindset that I want to drive within CBC is not to take it personal. Everyone have a right to complain. The process takes its course, is investigated, is dealt with, and if it needs to be dealt with in a particular way, then it's dealt with in a particular way. But we want to encourage the public to continue to engage us. We know how important public confidence is when it comes on a public service delivery. So we want to make sure that we impress upon the public to don't be afraid to engage with us and talk with us. If you feel something isn't right, we can set the record straight in the terms of assisting them in that space.
Okay, Director, we know recently that the government did adjust the allowance for persons traveling to the Cayman Islands, residents returning. Could you explain and give those figures to our listening and viewing audience as well?
Sure, sir. So the Customs Tariff Amendment Schedule number 2 order of 2026 were actually amended, and the order took effect on the 1st of July, 2026, and it introduced the following revised duty-free allowance for returning residents. And it's Cayman Islands, $1,000 from July 1st to the 31st of August.
And that's for each individual family member?
That is correct. That's correct. And on the 23rd to the 23rd of November until the 7th of January, that $1,000 will continue again. But you have a $800 permanent standard duty free that took effect on the 1st of September, or will take effect on the 1st of September. So it'll be $800 permanently on the 1st of September, that 2026, that we will have the 800 change from the current 500 that we have now.
And in addition to that, then the $1,000 again. Can you repeat those dates?
Right. So from the 1st of July to the 31st of August 2026, and then we will have a little break, and then it'll continue from the 23rd of November until the 7th of December of the 1,000. And I think persons will realize that is to allow individuals to go away, get their Christmas gifts, and
Thanksgiving,
and
all
come
that.
back.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's when all the sales are on.
So, I am not in the political space or anything like that, but, the government really looks at and consults with us to engage on how we can support the public, as also their ideas in the terms of how we can ease some of the pressures on the public. So it's the balance, and I want to say that we are involved in the process, and that is how we feel very, very, very satisfied, because we are always involved in the process.
We know that the airport has gone through, well, first of all, we moved to a new airport terminal. I think that was in 1983. We had 2 openings for that, 1983, 1984. We have had expansions since then, but we've seen the population of the Cayman Islands increase. We have seen the visitor numbers increase as well, and we continue to hear people, complain, especially on certain days, in terms of the amount of congestion. But that's not something that is restricted and limited to Cayman as well. How do your staff cope with those increased numbers?
It is grueling, on especially on weekends. It's a challenge for our staff. But we have just injected another 13 staff into the airport, passport and baggage control, to help to alleviate and deal with some of the challenges that we had there. We do know that there's a certain time frame in the terms of, between like 10:30 and like around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, on most weekends, in particular Saturdays. We have a lot of international flights that converge, pretty much every 15 minutes. So it does cause an overcrowding and a bottleneck within. But it's not lost on us to try to work with the system. I know that, from a higher level, it's being looked at to try to, facilitate how we can work together to deal with it until such time as we can expand, our facility. But what we do is we try our best to make sure that we continue to be professional, let individuals know that, we empathize with them in the circumstance, and help them through the process as best as we possibly can. We also make sure that we brief our team that these are opportunities for people to take advantage of us when we have those particular times going on. So we are very, very vigilant during that time as well. So I just want to make sure that the public understands that despite the challenges that we have, we are not about compromising the national security of the Cayman Islands.
Okay. One of our listeners want to know whether or not there is a reward for local informers, people who provide information. They should be doing that as a civic duty, shouldn't they?
Right. Yeah, we always encourage individuals to speak to us, and it'll be another segment where I will come in and talk about different ways that individuals could speak to us and in a nice, safe way to provide and do their civil Judy in the terms of assisting us, because border management, border security is all about, it's all about all of us making sure that we contribute to that safe space.
Okay, very quickly, we have a caller that we're going to entertain. We won't have much time. And this person also says, good morning, Director. I'm 53 years old, presently pursuing my associate's degree, and I have many years of work and business experience. Are there opportunities within Customs and Border Control for mature applicants who still have the ability, discipline, experience, and willingness to learn and serve? Hopefully we'll give you an opportunity to answer that. Let's just grab the caller. Caller, you're going to have to be very quick. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, congratulations there on my good friend, Martin, Bodden, and quickly, I don't have a lot of time. I noticed that there's a lot of different faces coming over from, it seems to be the police department over into custom, that are not going down too well with a lot of the people on the street. And another thing quickly is that there's a lady at the airport that don't look like one of us and don't talk like one of us that is asking us when we come off the flight if we're Caymanians to try and direct us to what line. I, on 2 different occasions, was very rude, as you know how I roll. That's how I roll. Don't ask me if I Caymanian. You know what I mean? You should know that when you get off the flight and come here.
Okay, quick.
And then another quick one is that see, we talk about the police escort. The police are coming through Savannah at 9:52, and court starts at 10, with not 2 police cars this time, but 3.
Yeah, but he's not police, Lord Graham. We're gonna have to go. We save that one for Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. The 53-year-old person who's pursuing their associate's degree.
Right. So we have a recruitment policy that we follow that policy, and if the individual definitely falls within that policy, and so on, we happen to take that individual on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So look out for when you're recruiting and submit their application.
Right.
Yep.
Sure. I think there was a remark that was made by the caller a while ago.
Talking about recruitment from other government agencies, for instance, the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, and then...
so again, we have a recruitment policy. We follow the recruitment policy. And if the individuals is successful, we do have a choice, but to do that, we have to be transparent, fair, and deliberate in the way that we actually conduct our policy and implement.
Yep.
So that is the answer that I will actually share in that space.
I want to give you an opportunity for some quick closing comments as well, and we're going to have to extend an invitation for you to be back on here as well.
So thank you very much. So Mr. O.C., thanks very much again to you and Radio Cayman and of course your show, For the Record, allowing me to come here and talk about some of the Cayman Islands Customs and Border Control Service strategies and our direction of travel. Every day our officers work across our ports of entry or, through the organization to protect our borders, facilitate legitimate trade and travel, and also to collect revenue and to help us keep our community safe. As director, I will continue to commit to building upon the work that other directors have actually paved the way. And my priorities are clear. I want to continue to strengthen border security and develop our people and make better use of intelligence and technology, deepen our partnerships and improve delivery and maintain the highest standards of integrity and professionalism that we can. Again, I want to thank my staff very much for their contribution. And when I say my staff, I'm not only talking about the officers, but the civilian support staff. And let them know that everything that they are doing and assisting us is in some way contributing to the prosperity and safety of these islands.
Okay, and we want to thank you for your commitment to public service as well. One of our listeners pointed out that I think when you were repeating the dates in relation to when those duty adjustments were made that you may have said December 7th rather than January 7th.
Okay, if I say that, I apologize.
Yep,
January 7th.
Absolutely correct on that. Folks, thanks. Yeah. We want to thank Director Bodden. We want to thank all of you who called in, those who sent messages as well. We encourage you to continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Mr. Charles Glidden Challo at 12:15 for Talk It In as usual. We ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to yard. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Yesterday.
Today.
Always and forever.